Going live? Yeah. Hi guys, so welcome back again for this month's track talk. So we've got again Anthony joined me, and we've also got our producer with us again, helping us out. So thank you. So some good few things to go through tonight. We're going to discuss the slot forum for guys who have not been on that or don't know anything about it, just to some helpful information on there. So we'll be going through that. We've got some Revo slot cars to have a look at, so we'll have a look at them, and also we'll be touching base on the new race coordinator that is coming in the future.
Yeah.
So we'll kick it off first with the slot forum. So Anthony's been reviewing this for a while now, so I'll hand over to you for that.
No worries at all. Thank you. All right, and welcome to the people who've joined us already. I think from what we've seen, there's a number of people already signed in and
Yep, the guys there
joined up.
slightly mad slot cars. So hi guys.
They're slightly mad have said hello, and
Yeah, so they were here a couple of months ago. They popped in.
So good evening there, and anybody else is more than welcome to say hello. Make sure you can hear us okay. And
so yeah, so hopefully the volume's coming through good to you guys, nice and clear.
Yeah.
Let us know if it's not, please.
Aye. All right. Well, Slot Forum is just a forum I've become aware of over time, and it may be of some interest to you guys out there. It's a forum that's been around since 2002. There's some 1.4 million posts, and currently about 38,000 members. So quite an active online community, and an excellent source of information to share and get assistance with your setup. I've just got some notes handed to me there. Lots of different communities, from like scratch building, club race reports, motor and gearing data, technical information, car tuning, tracks, building, scenery, and indeed software support. And Mike mentioned race coordinator there before, and Dave has certainly posted a section on here that is active in the support of the slot car racing software race coordinator that a lot of you guys might be familiar with. Was that hi from Blair in Tassie?
Yeah,
you're in Tassie, so
yes, we've got Tassie there,
Melbourne
so,
there as well.
Sounding like we're nice and clear, which is good.
Yep.
Thanks for that, guys. Appreciate it.
Always great to have the feedback. So yeah, just a forum there. Slotforum.com is the URL. Like any forum, get in there, sign up so you've got an account, so you can obviously post and contribute and get a little bit more out of it. Obviously, it lands on the home page there, where you can just start scrolling, see what subjects there are, and we had a bit of a scroll through here before, and we'll focus on a couple of in particular in a moment. You might see some race coordinator one there. There's events, history and culture, tracks and scenery. So there's plenty of different ones there. And I think this one stood out here the lower down it was.
Oh yeah, well,
the events. I'll just click in. It's this one here, and I've just got it in a tab pre-prepared there. South Manchester.
So
Slot Racing Club. So I think Mike.
It clicks out because it's like my hometown for a start. When I was living there, I wasn't aware of the club at that stage. Whether it was there, then I'm not sure, because I've been out here since 2000 now, so it's quite a while. But several years ago, I'd gone home to Manchester, and these guys were good enough to invite me round, and went round on a race night. And nice bunch of guys, 2 good tracks there. It was really nice to actually see some racing back in my hometown and that as well. And got some good races going down there. Not every time that they race, but I know Steve from True Speed has been down and he races on that track as well from time to time. James Cleavetek's down and raced on that track from time to time as well. A good bunch of guys, made us feel very welcome, and yeah, so I think I'll be, maybe next time I'm over, might be taking a few cars with me next time and maybe joining them for a race, because they were running the Revos and things like that around last time when I was there.
Yep.
So yeah. Slightly mod cars. Do we have a full book for the Revo Nationals? No, we don't. We've still got a bit of space left there. We've not closed that off yet. I'll probably talk a little bit more about that later on actually as well. So yeah, still some space for some extra races if they want to join us for the Revo Championships in July.
Yep. So yeah, like any forum, plenty of reading there. You just scroll away and see what's going on. They've obviously published a lot of their technical rules and information for a race event they've got coming up in July. I think this one was.
Yep.
So they're obviously utilising the forum in a great way there. Race coordinator we mentioned before. This is a very active sub as well, or forum category. And this covers obviously the existing race coordinator one and the new race coordinators coming through that we'll talk about a little bit later this evening. So again, scroll and join and contribute. There's some good information there on slotforum.com. So
And some things, you know what I mean, you might be a little bit harder to find if you're looking for something specific as such, but use the search bar, and that quite often comes up with some threads and that for something you're particularly looking for. You know, just in case you're looking for a particular product and you see if anyone's done a review or anything on it, you can type the product in there and it might take you to a thread that's got some details there. So it's definitely worth signing up for and looking at.
yep.
So we've got Storky joining us there.
G'day, Storky. So yeah, there are lots of things to click into and have a look at. There's nothing in particular. I'm not sure where I'll go on there actually.
No, but there's a few guys that sort of are not aware of it, and it's such a good site, and I just think worth putting it out there like you're doing tonight to let guys know it's there and utilize it more than what it's already being used.
Yep. So yeah, just something I'd found along the way, and you guys might be able to get some value out of yourselves. So as I said, I'll talk more about race coordinator later on, and there is a link back to Slot Forum there also. So
I don't know whether any of you guys are already using it quite a bit that are watching, but yeah, if not, get on there and have a look at it. It's definitely worth a view.
Yeah, it's active. Yep. And as I said, in 1.4 million posts, if you have a search, there's a fair chance you might find some information.
That's what I was saying.
For,
you know, it's so spend a bit of time looking through. But like I say, there's a lot. You know, when you just look at I'm just looking at the screen there, and you can see there scratch building, 156,000 comments on scratch building. You know, so it's things like that. You know, you're going to find the information you want.
Yep.
Especially with some of the changes there. You know, we've had a lot of the scratch builders that use a lot of the plastic parts that are no longer available. You know, so there's talks on there what they're starting to use because the plastic chassis are not available. And I think I noticed something the other week about some of them have gone to the H&R racing chassis and things like that. But yeah, again, some great information. So
sure. Yep, and just
utilize the channel.
Slightly Made Slot Cars have been a member for quite some years. So
yeah, good info. Yeah,
good to know. Yep. So that was a fair bit of that. If there's any questions, post quickly. We'll see if we answer for you.
Flick to something other than that.
Yeah, yep. It might just bring us back to the pair of us and move on to the next segment.
So
we're going to this evening.
So what we're going to quickly look at is some new Revo cars that have come out. So we've got basically 3 new ones that have arrived here. If I can get them into shot, there we go. So we've got 3 different liveries in them. So we've got the white.
Now this is the Porsche.
The yellow.
I think the
Porsche Crema K8 and the blue. So nice looking cars, something very different. So I was going to sort of have a little of a look at one of them, a bit more detail. So, you guys probably already seen these out and about, but I just thought to give you a bit more of a clear look at one. So we'll just unscrew. So as just always with the Revo cars, they're always presented nicely in the hard boxes and the plastic covers and everything for traveling. So they always arrive in good order. So I'll just get rid of that one.
Got the extra guide in there, of course, and with the deeper guide as your option, and with magnet as they produce.
Some mirrors.
Some spare parts, which is a really...
You've always got your mirrors in there, which quite often now they're not putting in the cars because we always lose them racing anyway. So yeah, as Anthony said, the deeper guide there for the timber tracks, and a couple of stickers that they always throw in the boxes, which is nice. And as I always say, most important part, other than the car, is the flyer. So make sure you keep this information slip because it is very valuable with all the information you're going to need for the parts and everything when you're ordering for the cars. So all your part numbers for everything you need there, so you can make sure you're ordering the right stuff and not getting the wrong ones by mistake. And then again at the back, some optional extras there. So things that you can change by changing your floats with the brass nuts here. And then you've got your body rubbers here to change the heights of your body rubbers and things. So there's a few things there that you can use. So yeah, don't forget to keep that. File it away. Good information.
Well, an important bit of paper is that what we're saying. Mighty bad slot goes on. Sure.
It is.
It is. They are very useful, and it's a fantastic addition that that Revo.
So just looking at the car, as always, the finish on them
present so well.
It's great.
Yep. Spin that around and give you an all-round view of that one.
It's got, the camera.
Got the high wing on the back. Is it removable like the magnetic one?
It is. It's the magnetic wing.
It's a handy feature.
So they can. Wow. Which the magnet?
The magnet.
The magnet has just come out of. All right. So anyway,
pick that in a moment.
It's an honest review, and the magnet is still attached to the back of the car. Let me get it on camera. And not in this part where it shows. So that, we need to pull that magnet out and glue it back in there.
Like a super glue. I'm sure everybody's got a tube of super glue in their slot car.
And funny enough, I received some cars from someone that had stopped racing, and they had one of these in there.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually a Ferrari one, and they had the wing on the back, but it weren't attached. And I went to attach it to the car, and they glued the magnet the opposite way, so they repelled instead of attracted. And that was a nightmare trying to get that magnet out that they'd super glued in.
Yeah, okay.
So anyway, we're going to push it back in for now.
There you go, it's back on.
So, good looking car. And as always with the Revos, 2-piece metal chassis. Yeah. Dave's just jumped online. So you're racing this one, Dave? So on saying that, yes, these cars are new, but they will be allowed in our Revo Championship. They will go into the Sunday class. So anyone that wants to race these in the Revo Championships, they will be added to the Sunday class. So I'm just going to have a bit of a look inside. No, I'm a bit tight, and I'm going to take the screws
right out. Yeah, sometimes they stretch and come over, and other times.
Yeah, sort of. Normally on my own cars, I do take them out. To be honest, I was just trying to do it a bit quicker because we're on camera, but I will be patient.
But smaller than predicted. Okay, righto.
The bigger cars get a BRM. Sorry, Dave. Yeah, right. So inside, again, clean, tidy, I just like the Revos. They're built clean and tidy and they work. So as always, you've got the bearings in the front. Those that haven't, most people have had Revos now, but those that haven't, got to give them a go. So roller bearings in the front on the axles, same in the rear. You've got roller bearings here and here. Angle winder. Basically,
adjustable motor, yeah, and move the
So-
motor back to adjust your mesh and things like that. So
yeah, and it's worth checking before you get your car on the track. You got to remember, someone's sat there in a factory putting these together all day. There's going to be the odd one that they've not tightened the screws up. So before you put a car on the track, check your mesh. Have you got that tiny little bit of play that you can see? I'm holding the pinion there, but you can see I've just got a little bit of movement in that spur, and that's what you want. You don't want it jammed up tight. But get your Allen key 1.5. Check these are tight before you even start on the track. Just give it a check over your screws, everything, because it's very easy for something to be missed, and it's a lot easier to tighten them up now than try and find your screw on the track. You only get one sticker in your carrot box. Yeah. So, two-piece chassis. The brass nuts here is what's giving it the float, and that's what we're just looking at on the leaflet. You can change that to. These are a 1mm. You can get 0.5mm, which basically takes the float out. 1.5 and 2mm, which completely changes that body float there. And that's preference. Give it a try. Different tracks will react differently with that float. Anthony?
So if I told you there's some new technology in here, we had some coilover shocks, would you believe me?
Go on.
It's not exactly functional, it's just a detail in the modelling, but because it's up the back here, we've got a nice little shock absorber
Yeah.
mount in the back end there. Probably that way around the camera there, so coilover shocks in a slot car. Just something that caught my eye there, and obviously a bit of an inside view.
Maybe we need the fin on suspension so we don't lose them so much every time we roll over and crash them.
But yeah, they're not really, they're just decorative, really.
Yeah, but that's quite a good bit of detail, isn't it, actually?
Is.
I didn't say no
And
that.
are these body rubbers smaller? These float rubbers, are they from the group cars? They look a touch small. Just given the size was mentioned there
somewhere. They look somewhere between the two, to be
before.
honest.
A little bit, don't they? And if we had some of the sheets, the spare parts numbers would tell us a little bit of information.
I'm just looking
there,
if I just happen to have another Revo next to me and I don't. See if it does give us the same number on our sheet. This is on the spot looking.
Just a detail we picked up as we take the lid off for the first time. Yeah, now the body rubbers are normally on the back page.
Yeah, there's nothing on the front showing what ones are in this car. Body rubbers. They're the standard.
They are standard?
Yeah, S013 is the standard for the. Okay.
All right, might be something we can check and
yeah, because it
does
look a little bit.
Not sure.
Yeah, it looks a little bit skinny, but maybe it's just our imagination. They look narrower. Yeah, just
They do.
Okay, so it's a check out.
Almost look like the Group 2 ones.
What we got. So yeah, all in all, again, great detail.
Lovely liveries there. That one's a nice livery. That blue one. We have a close up of that blue one there again.
So put that to one side. And I'll just get all my screws on that magnet so I don't lose them. And let's have a look. I'll just I won't take it off the base, but I'll just
it caught my eye a little bit as you showed it there before.
There you go.
Yeah, quite a neat looking car too. So give us a thumbs up if you like the look of that one. And there's a yellow one there. Maybe we can have a quick survey of the favourite livery, the white, the blue, the white with the rear wing. I'm not even sure.
Oh, look. But this is the point, don't hide things, the manufacturers don't want you to hide things as well,
It obviously just hasn't been quite stuck properly.
but
And there's the yellow one there, a bit of a flame sort of effect over the wheel arches there. They've all got some
something about them, aren't they?
Yeah, they look fantastic. So deep blue, we've got a vote for there. Any other contributors in the quick
The
survey?
white's going to be hard on my track. It's going to be tracks of white.
Yeah, that would be a difficult one.
With my eyesight as well, yeah.
Dave down there in Melbourne would be pretty right on his darker colour track. That might stand out a bit more, whereas the blue might be the hard one down there. Stalky's gone for blue as well.
It is a nice livery. This one looks a bit.
Don't mind the colour.
I just.
I'm not sure it's a portrait or a flame there.
Is that cannabis leaf? But then that's but that no, I don't know.
It's a striking looking car. I don't
it's
mind
different.
Yellow for me says if you're from Tasmania, be Alex.
Yeah, so what a nice group of cars to be added to the Revo collection for sure. Yeah, I think I'd probably go blue myself, to be honest, as well.
Yeah, certainly on the white tracks up here, or the yellow would stand out as well. The white will certainly blend into the track and be a bit harder to see.
Yeah,
locally here, but yeah.
But nice cars.
Yep, certainly.
So we will at some point. I will get this one that's pulled apart. I will get that on the track, and I'll do a bit of review on the track and see what it goes like on the track as well. Because we've not at this stage had them on there, so it'd be interesting to see. Because Dave was saying they are a little bit small and like your F333s, Ferraris, and that. So I reckon they're going to go quite good on the track.
Yeah, I think they might well.
Yeah, I think because they've just got that little bit, where some of the smaller ones tend to throw around a bit more. So, all right. So,
all right, that's a bit of a look at the cars.
That's the cars. So just getting back to Revo Championship. So we've got good numbers, but we want more. We're not full yet. We had a few that unfortunately did have to drop out for a reason. There was a group coming down, but that's normal. We get that every year. We get some drop out and then some last minute ones and whatever. But it's still on, coming up with the dates of the 24th, 25th and 6th of July. So this is our fourth one that we've had. We've got a lot of the regular guys coming down that have been down in the years before. So we're going to have that same sort of community of challenges from state to state again, which was quite good last year. So we've got guys coming down. There's people from Tasmania coming. I know there's people from Melbourne coming. WA guys, there was a group of them were coming and they've dropped out. There were supposed to be some others coming, but I haven't had confirmation of them. They haven't actually got the tickets yet. So there's a fair few saying they're coming that have not ordered tickets, and to those guys, please order your tickets.
You don't want to miss out.
You know what I mean? I can't hold them. I'll come if you fly me over. It's a good event. It's we've got 3 days of racing there. The shop's open the day or two before as well for the guys that can just come in and practice all day before the event. Now, there's no charge for that. The track's there. Come down, use it. If you're here early, get on the track, get some laps in, get some practice in. And that's especially for the guys that are not local to the track. They will get priority on that track those couple of days before. So Rice is selling his Defalco, so we'd have to. So But so yeah, come down, get in there. A couple of guys have been asking, where do they get the tickets? So you should be able to get that straight away on the website. It's coming up now and there. So we've got the homepage. Just go straight to the homepage. The easiest way is just scroll down, and as you scroll down, you can see there. There's the Reverse National Championships coming up, and we have got 50 days, 11 hours, 33 minutes, and around about 10 seconds. Until the event. So if you click on the learn more, that'll straight away take you to where you can purchase the tickets. Now, where it's saying Friday there's a drop down menu. So you have to purchase each one individually. So click on the day that you want to race, add to the cart, and then you can click on the other days and add all 3 to the cart, whichever way you're doing it. And that's basically then.
I added it to the cart, just as an example. So,
yep. Okay, so it's just added to the cart there. Sorry, I saw the BRM one below it. I'm thinking, what? No, that's all right. That was.
It's a recommendation, right? Yep.
So simple as that. Also in there is more information as you're scrolling down. Gives you a little bit more about it all there. There's some details there on them, so you got a bit more information. There's also some details there for accommodation for down at the bottom.
Accommodation there.
Yep, a little plus sign there. So a little bit of help there as well for guys who need accommodation. So there's a little bit of information there that can be used as well. So but if you get stuck and you're looking for information on accommodation, drop me a line and I'll try and help out anyway. I'll link there to click for rules and stuff and everything as well. So fair bit of information there. But again, any further questions, give me a shout. What's that? If Not Racing will be up there doing a live on our channel. Yep, you're more than welcome. We probably will be running it live anyway, but you're more than welcome to come down and do a bit of live streaming and camera work while you're here. So that's basically just the championship. So yeah, so those guys that haven't got the tickets, and pretty much this week the guy who'd had his accommodation booked for 3 months and hadn't bought his tickets, and it's like, get your tickets. Last thing you want to do is have your accommodation and no tickets.
No tickets, yeah. Is
there a bed in your bus? If the bus is still there, it's up for sale. So if anyone needs a big bright yellow bus, we've got one. Yeah, pretty much, like I said, drop me a line if you need any more information. It's going to be a good event as always. The cafe is now open as well, so we've got a good selection of food and everything to keep everyone fed, and coffees to keep everyone. So poor Amanda has been roped into having to work the Saturday and the Sundays, which she doesn't normally, but she's got no choice, but she'll keep us fed.
Great food out there. She looks after us all very well. Keeps us all fed.
Yeah, she keeps spoils the race guys. They get cake on a Tuesday night, but don't tell the Friday night racers because they don't get cake. All right, so that's
countdown's on. 30 minutes.
50 days and 11 hours or whatever.
Countdown is on. So it's a great event. Look forward to seeing you guys up here for it, and more the merrier.
Yep, I think there's a few people out there to try and I think Dave will be wanting to get up there again. He did absolutely brilliant last year.
Fantastic.
So I know yourself, Anthony, and there's a few key ones that are always up there, but it changed a little bit last year, which was good. It weren't a local event. And that's the good thing about it. It didn't run as a local event where it was just the local guys winning. The guys from the other states were coming in there, and it was good to see, and that was important.
Yep.
I think to see that guys from other states were walking away with a good result.
Yep.
All right, so we'll leave that there for now, and we will move on to.
We're going to talk a bit about race coordinator AI.
So just before you jump into the race coordinator AI, maybe just give a rundown on race coordinator as it is now, for guys who don't know about it. just sort of
Okay.
what it's used for and how it's been around quite a bit. So yeah, maybe just give a bit of a history on it first, and then we'll jump into the new versions.
Race Coordinator was initially started. It's from a fellow called Dave, lives in the UK. Started developing Race Coordinator software for his own sort of personal use, and it developed into something that was released publicly and is now quite widely used. It was circa 2010 or thereabouts. I'm not quite sure the exact date, but it's been around in quite some time. It's been very well developed and supported by the developer of the software, Dave. I think his profession is software, and he's gone on to create a software package that works quite well, really well for week in, week out racing, home use. It's no cost for it, although you can contribute to his um, in memory of his son that was developed for, and which is where it all comes from. You have to excuse me. But it has plenty of versatility. You can customize it extensively in terms of the layout of the screen, and is very easy to use.
Just looking at 99% of my racing on tracks is using Race Coordinator, and it has become popular. And the way it links in with TrackMate systems, Arduino systems, you got your Carrera side of it as well, so your Carrera Digital and stuff on there at the moment as well. So it's been so useful for a lot of different applications and different hardware packages that are actually running the track side of it. So it's been around a while.
We've certainly pushed it further with obviously Mike has TrackMate for the timing in particular, but we've plugged Arduinos into it here to control some LED lighting effects, and you might have seen some of our other videos that were posted racing where we've got the start bridge that has some lights on the top for indicating the lanes as the cars cross underneath, and the colour and the floodlights underneath. So you can really, not just is it doing the timing, but it's actually adding to the presentation of slot car racing as well. So but that software, as I said, he started developing circa 2010, back in the days when Windows XP and the likes were popular at the time. And he's tried as hard as he can to maintain backwards compatibility with those older operating systems, such as I said, XP, Windows 7 into 10, and even see Windows 10 now is really officially finished. But it's got to a point where his development software it's reached the end of life. It's become impossible to continue to maintain and update Race Coordinator 1 as we really move into Windows 11 and beyond. So he's made the decision he's not going to develop Race Coordinator 1 any further, and he needed to move into a new era where he could develop a new version of Race Coordinator with modern software. He's still looking to be as backwards compatible as possible as he can be with, and we'll talk about some of that in a moment. But Race Coordinator AI, obviously we're in the AI era, and the reason it's AI is that he's developing it with the assistance of artificial intelligence, AI, and indeed he's using Google Anti-Gravity as his platform for development. He's going to open source this software, and indeed you can get into the GitHub where it's hosted, and we can show you some of that. And you can contribute. He's open to contribution from the slot car community about what you want in the software, what you need, what features, and obviously because he's starting new, he's obviously looking for people to check his the program, look for updates and hints for the user interface, make sure everything's working as smoothly as possibly it
And
can.
yourself, Anthony, has been quite open in discussing your thoughts and the thoughts of some of the racers here and people that have commented to us, and putting a lot of them thoughts forward to him.
Yep.
For and just because you have an idea and you say it doesn't mean it's going to happen, but now is the time to be saying
what do you want?
what what are the shortfalls of race coordinator at the moment? What's it not doing you really like it to do? So and that's now is the time to get that information across, because once it's produced, a little bit late. Not saying that we'll have more versions coming up, but
that's right. He'll obviously continue on, but the more noise that people make about a particular issue and things like that, the more likely something is to be added into it. So, do you want lane choice? And I believe lane choice is something that a lot of people have looked for. It's never come into Race Coordinator 1. I've certainly made a bit of noise about it, and I think I've got his ear a little bit, and hopefully we will see that. I'd like to see, control of the groups and the running order of groups and things like that are a couple of the things that I've been looking at as well. So we can show you a little bit about that. We'll just bring it up on screen here, and
so this is the new sort of format as such now.
Yep. So it's reasonably platform independent. I believe it'll run on Macs and Windows. It uses Java primarily. It's a client server relationship in the software. So you run a server, and then your client, the bit you're looking at, is in a web browser, and in time that will allow. Race Coordinator had a web server built into it that helped you bring extra information out to the spectators and things like that, along with the race screen itself, and some of that will come into here with your clients being open in different tabs. But as you can,
that looks quite futuristic, doesn't it?
It does.
It's got an element there. Oh, okay, you want to know more about it as soon as you see the screen. When you look at that compared to the original sort of opening screen, as should we say?
Unfortunately, we don't. Weren't quite organised to show you, but the guys out there have got Race Coordinator now will know what it looks like, and you'll see some similarities here. You can obviously we've got a list of drivers that are racing over here on the left, and a list of available drivers. Now off this one, you can just click and it brings them up to the top. So just remember, this is obviously all pretty new at all. It's functional in terms of being beta at this stage. It's not a release by any means. It's in development. So your driver controls, click, and it's dropped the driver back down as being unavailable. There's some information about the number of drivers available, the number of racing and things like that there. So
a little bit easier to use, really.
Yeah. It's a nice double click. There was
it does look a bit like that.
And these lists are also collapsible, so you can sort of have a bigger list that you can scroll through as well. And unfortunately, now that one's tucked in behind that. So up the top here, file, you can load saved races. That was similar. We've got our driver editor. So you can come across here. Some of this will change in time as it develops a little bit further, I'm sure, and whatnot. But we're into a driver. It's relatively straightforward, as was RC1, creating a new driver name and nicknames, and some audios for the individual drivers as well. Quite a big library of helmets have been added in. I think that was a contribution from one of the guys on the GitHub. I just realised we haven't got the Git up on the tab, but we'll work on that in a moment. So we can, where am I? How do I come back out? Oh, yeah, there we go, back out of there. So we've got some other overlays on our screen here that sort of hide some of the stuff we're looking at. So that's a driver. We can also manage a new thing that's coming into it. One of the guys who are, and we talked about Slot Forum before. There's an active community and discussion about race coordinator overall, and indeed a particular for the AI. So somebody on there asked about teams and getting some team support in there. And there certainly is a way here of bringing a group of drivers in as a team. And then in the race settings, there was some control over how long they race for, either based on time or based on the number of laps or
which is really good for some of the team racing events.
yeah.
Because that's always been a little bit of a manual sort of side to it that we've had to do.
There was a hint of teams in RC1, but it wasn't something that was sort of never developed further. I know in one of the menu systems there's teams, but there's no functionality built in behind where it's coming here. So yeah, that adds another dimension to things. Obviously, there's a track set up. At the moment, it's only Arduino. While it's in development, I know TrackMate will come into it. I'm sure that's something you'll have a look at, along with some of the other ones, your fidgets and. But I will say, I think the days of the parallel port, they've disappeared from computers.
TrackMate have really not gone forward with their hardware. You know, to say some of the hardware that are still buying on there is running on serial, and then they give you an adapter to convert, it's quite far behind. I think TrackMate, I could be wrong, it's probably 12 months or so since I've looked at that. But yeah, their hardware needs to jump into the sort of current period as well, I think.
USB-C and things like that are taking off. So this screen just gives you a bit of a summary of the overall settings for the track, and then obviously we can dial in and edit here to set your track lengths, lane colours are all available there and whatnot. Yeah, he's got support there for the Uno or the Mega, and then assigning all your pins for the lane choices and things like that. And
a little bit of work setting up still, but just once it's done, it's up and running, and there'll be plenty of help lines with that.
Now that's the RGBs, a great way of adding a bit of colour, as we spoke about before, as we do on the start line and things like that. And I know he intends to throw some more support into configuring the strips of LED RGB lights. So settings there. So we'll come back out of that. Obviously, you can name it, you can duplicate them. There's an undo, redo up there. If you're making changes, you can control some of that there. Just generally, once you go in to some of these menus, make a change, you just back out, and it saves as you go. Races. Again, this is an area where I've had a little bit of try to get a bit of commentary. As we can see here, RC1 sometimes you had more than 4 lanes. You'd had scroll bars inside scroll bars for the heats and stuff like that. You can see here you've got a whole heat in one view. So that I think that's a good thing. And indeed, we can go through. You can set your minimum lap times, your start times, the restart times. All of the things that sort of in RC1 have come through. So
we're not losing anything, we're just gaining, basically.
Yeah, yep. It's obviously normal, the finishes and things like that. I think there's some work to do with the auto segments. There's one option there that's not there, but that'll come into it in time. It's got the groups in there, and we'll have a look at the groups in the heat editor in the race later on, but that's all there. He's got support coming for analog fuel, digital fuel, and this was the teams ones we mentioned there earlier. I just clicked off it. You can put in a heat lap limit, an overall limit for a driver, heat times and things like that. Haven't seen that in use yet, but I understand a driver change is activated on a pit stop, and you can set times. I think was the intent of the people who...
Which helps control the team events where you're getting one driver wanting to do more time than some of the others, because that's their team's better driver. So, and the idea of teams is even it out amongst the team. Don't just get your one best driver to do 50% of it and the other 2 drivers to do 25 and 25 kind of thing.
It's a team effort, so everybody got to have their turn and things like that.
And that just helps automate it rather than have to do it all manually yourself with.
Yep. So just come back out of that. And there's assets, the graphics and things like that. You can come in here and you can add new assets, as they're called, images and sounds and things like that. That's all done through there, and then they're available later on. And we'll get to a race in a moment, but we'll just keep going through those. There is a customize UI section here. You can change the layout of the columns, in the configured columns, the list of all the data elements you can bring across and into the different columns. And I've just added kilometres an hour to the nickname.
I'll just try to see if there's any.
Yeah, we've sort of lost our questions at the moment. Is there any questions? No, William's just got that there for us. Looks like we're all pretty good.
We're all good.
I hope this is interesting, guys. And just a demo setups and things like that. So I guess the important thing, what's the bit we're going to look at the most while we're racing? There's a chooser there to choose your race. Cheers, Dave. Thanks for tuning in. So it's just I'll dial up a demo race. There's a bit of an overlap there where I've introduced that, but this is the new screen, and we'll just hit the space bar and it will do a countdown for the start of a race. Similar looking start lights to what we've seen before. And into it, you might have noticed a refresh there on the first lap if you start behind the sensor. So you'll actually probably get a good idea if we've actually won the start off the line.
Yeah, it's the quickest one off the line, which we don't normally see till after they've sort of done the first lap of where they're at. Where here you're seeing that straight away who's the quickest out of the line. Yeah,
yep. So these elements are, we've got kilometres an hour there is overlapping a little bit, so maybe I've chosen a bad spot to put that. But this number here, I think I've got set to the leader of the heat. We've got the reaction times there, so they're visible now. The number of laps, of course, lap times, all there, and the leaderboard. Record scores are up there.
So a lot of good information that's quite quickly accessible and you can see.
Yep. You notice the main yellow flag race there, but he's also introduced flags for each driver. And I think that's something that will help with laps that go under minimum, so you've got an idea. And potentially maybe crash and learn and things like that in time. Yep. But yeah, there's also individual driver flags there I've noticed have been introduced, and that's something that will develop further. So that's that. Before we did start, there was an opportunity, as there is now, to come in and modify the heats, and I probably need to back out, so we've got a fresh set to excuse me, leave and come back in. As a heat editor, in the modify heats, if you see here, we've got groups. We actually have the ability here to reorder the groups. We see now we're heading off with driver 8 instead of driver 2, who's moved to the second heat. So that gives you a bit of control over how the groups run, that I think might be a welcome feature.
And hopefully that somewhere in there might be where we'll get the lane choice coming through.
Well, certainly lane choice is something I've asked for, and we get asked for here, particularly on the flexi guys. If you win qualifying, you have that option to choose which lane you want to start your heat rotation in.
It goes back by and allows them to have lane choice in by, first person who qualifies best gets the first lane choice, next one's and carrying on along.
Yep.
And a lot of the guys do find it a big advantage because they can sort of work it out so that the last heat they're going to be finishing on the favourite lane.
Yep.
So that's their time to pull it all back. That's the last chance. So lane choice is very important to a lot of the guys. What's that one?
I prefer a lights out rather than green. Okay. Well, the choice of colours. There's certainly no doubt that some people are quite in favour of the Formula One style race lights, which is a count up to 5. And then it goes out, and it doesn't go to green at all. So,
and that's probably what he's.
But the thing,
lights out is
yep. As I said, this software is open source. You can go into the GitHub which is a website that maintains software and packages and development, and either contribute or write your own. So yeah, we mentioned that we can swap the groups. You can also move the drivers order there as well. It doesn't then reorder the rest of the heats as it is in this version, but this is something that potentially might be a lead into to lane choice. You can certainly put a driver there into your lane of your choice. It just needs to really go and follow on and yeah, audio voice with the countdown. Yeah, it does call out the countdown in words along with the display and the colours. So maybe there's something developed
Could you
further.
put a photo of the driver with the car that we're racing?
Um,
Well, you can put images in.
yeah, you can. In that assets manager, you can bring in your own images. You could well, instead of the helmet, I imagine have a mugshot of the person driving the car. He hasn't brought in cars like we had. There was an RC1. I'm not sure if there was a lot of support for that, but there's no reason why you couldn't have an image of the car, I guess, instead of the driver.
Image of the driver, image of the car, yeah.
Yep.
A photo of the driver with the car they're racing. It's saying a car they're racing, the issue I'd find with that is if you're doing 3 race events, you have to keep changing the image every time. Where, you know, when from a point of view of setting up a race each week, like here, you load that you'll load that person's details, you know, like I'll load Anthony into the computer because he's racing. I wouldn't really have the time to start changing the image each time for each different race that we do, you know, and you got like, you know, 20 classes overall of what we do for the year with the flexes and the 132s, 124s.
Yep.
So that'd be the only thing about having a car per race as such. But by all means, sort of, I'd say, yeah, an image of if you wanted a mugshot of that person or their own personal avatar or whatever that they'd like. I think that's definitely something that's doable with it.
Yep. And obviously, you know, a shop's one place where this software is used. Somebody at home on their own track might have a different setup as well. So you've got that flexibility there to do that. Yeah, so that's the race screen. You might have noticed there's a nice sort of animation as some of the leaders swapped in the lanes, which was a nice little touch. It sort of highlights the
takeover.
The overtake, yeah. Start of what I've seen and got used to an RC1. Yeah, well, it's similar in this one. We're not actually counting on the demo on this one. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but anyway. It's a little bit, it's a little different, but it's similar at the same time. So, but again, as I said, he's open to input. If you've got something, you've got an idea, join in on the forum. And which was Race Coordinated Slot Forum, and you'll see the topics come up here. There's obviously one for the next version coming here, version 21. We're on .20 on the particular one we're showing you tonight. But there's conversations here on the forum, and there's also conversations in the GitHub.
Did you ever been to that?
We didn't actually. I think when we swapped over browsers earlier, we managed to drop that. Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe we'll get our producer to come back to us. Can you dial that up for us? Can you just take this, go back to this camera, and maybe can you bring up the Git?
Concourse. It's something we talked about last year at the Revo event. And we probably should do it. I haven't announced it, to be honest, Dave. I did forget. But yeah, concourse is something we were asked for last year, and someone sort of mentioned it'd be a good idea because there were some amazing painted white kits out there. Maybe I should put something together quickly, sort of over the next week or two, and announce that, Dave. So I think it would be a good addition. And also, you know, something for the boys that do paint their own cars. Why not?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, yeah, thank you for reminding me, Dave, actually, because we did discuss that last year. So concourse, yes, I'll have to look at who we get to choose that, and then yeah, get some prizes together for it as well, which would be good.
Yep.
So yeah, let me look at that, Dave, and get something across in the next few weeks.
Right. Well, I think
And,
it
and
produces.
if you don't say anything, Dave, ring me and remind me.
Some of this might be all a bit foreign to some of you guys, but GitHub is a website that is great at version control and software development. There's all sorts of code and things like that in here. But you can go in here to issues and raise an issue. And sometimes that goes on to.
So, how's that spelt, Anthony? How's that? What's the?
All right, we can. So it's GitHub, GIT Hub. You might go to github.com. That's Dave's
GITHUB.com.
surname, the developer, and race coordinator AI underscore AI. If you search it, you should find it.
Okay, so GitHub.
GitHub, yep. And we can see here, somebody has asked to fit more drivers on the screen. In this case, it looks like they've brought up the race result screen. There's only 12 there. I think they're advocating that maybe it should be more, or it could be dynamic. And the conversation has gone on there a little bit about how that might be achieved. This is the developer, Dave. This user, I think, is also in Europe and has been contributing and is quite active. But yeah, there's a conversation there about what it could be, what it should be, how it could be integrated, and things like that. And that's where you can have your input. And if Dave likes the idea, and it's got some support, it'll come into it. So.
And I know this is probably goes above what a lot of people and that sort of require. They just sort of switch it on and hope it works, and and that side of it. And a lot of other guys just go and race somewhere and have never touched race coordinator themselves. But it's just a bit of background in there to what's happening, and that just shows the work that people like Dave at Race Coordinator are putting into these things that they're giving us for nothing, and the hours and years of work that goes into it. And there are probably thousands of people in the background that are all contributing and putting stuff in there as well, so there's a lot of work goes into it.
Yep.
Uh,
Is that for all kids? Yeah. Very good. So yeah, you don't have to be a programmer to contribute here. If you've got an idea as a user, you can bring it forward, and you'll bring something that might be a benefit to all of us.
Yep.
So that's a fair bit of what's going on there. As I said, Race Coordinator was some software that he developed originally for Philosophy Son, I believe, and he's got a charity that he can donate to. So always keep that in mind. So
yeah, but I think that basically brings us to a close tonight for what we've sort of been through. So it's a little bit different, bringing you some different things there tonight. And thank you, Anthony, for your input in that. I know you're quite involved with putting ideas and stuff out there to this race coordinator, this new AI version. And no, thank you for that. And yeah, the rest of you guys get on there, jump on, and try not bombard him with too many, I guess. But
even if you don't want to join in, email Mike with your suggestion and he'll forward it on and we can put it forward.
Yeah, throw some stuff out there and we'll sort of, I guess in that way, at least I can condense it. Instead of 20 people asking for the same thing, I can sort of say there's this many numbers have asked for this, and that, rather than send 20, 30 emails kind of thing.
Yep.
So, but thanks, guys, for those that joined and watched, and thank you to Anthony, and thank you to our producer in the background that kept the screens flicking as we needed them. So appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So, and we will catch you next month.
Indeed.
So,
July. And then it will be down to what's it going to be? 20 days or thereabouts. You count down to the Revo Championship.
Yeah, we'll be getting close. Yeah, so
close.
yeah, so by yeah, by the next one next month, hopefully these final guys have got their tickets and got organised. But yeah, any questions on the event, drop us a line, try and help you out. But there's still some places left, so let's get some more races in there. I think none of our local guys have booked in. I think I've only got a couple of them,
better
so
stir them up. Yeah,
we have to stir them up. They just think they're entitled. Well, they're not. First come, first serve.
yeah, they miss out. They miss out. Yeah.
All right. So thanks again, guys, and we will catch you all next month.